And immediate gratification cost, but long-term vision pays.
My hand went into a fist. I looked up and I saw the vision the night I met Paul Bragg standing in front of 1 million people. And I said, I'm going to master this thing called reading and studying and learning. I'm going to master this thing called teaching. And I'm going to do whatever it takes. I'm going to travel whatever distance. I'm going to pay whatever price to give my service of love across this planet. I'm not going to let any human being on the face of the earth stop me from my dream. Nobody, not even myself.
Since I found Dr. Demartini and I've done his values determination test, he has helped me realign with my real mission and values. My YouTube watch time has increased by 200%.
I guess I'll never be able to read or write or communicate or never amount thing, never go very far in life, which is what my first grade teacher told my parent.
And she said, son, whether you become a great teacher and philosopher and travel the world like you say and you dream, whether you go back to Hawaii and ride giant waves like you've done, or return to the streets and panhandle as a bum, I just want to let you know that your father and I are going to love you, no matter what you do, boy. And I made a commitment that I was going to memorize 30 words a day until my vocabulary was strong enough to pass school. And my mom would test me on 30 words a day on how to spell it, pronounce it, use it in a sentence, and the meaning of the word.
And I overcame my learning problems and practiced speaking and overcame my speaking problems and learned how to override my reading and writing problems with dyslexia. And it was a slow, steady, progressive, incremental, metric progress. But I did it. And I think that a lot of times people aren't quite willing to do the effort that it takes to conquer these things. Mm-hmm. I was just blessed to be driven at that moment when my mom said that. So thank you, Mom, for that turning point.
Love you, Mama. Yeah, I think that's the biggest problem.
When you live in alignment with what you value most, you increase your probability of achieving. When you achieve, you tend to want to achieve more. So you keep expanding your space and time horizons until you start setting goals per day, per week, per month, per year, per decade, per generation. Eventually you set goals that are legacies, immortality goals. So every time you are rewarding yourself for living congruently according to who you are, authentically, you keep expanding. But the second you try to live by lower values, which are often injected values from outer authorities, trying to fit in, trying to live by what you should do, ought to do, supposed to do, got to do, have to do, need to do, must, you shrink. You procrastinate, hesitate, frustrate. You don't have discipline, reliability, and focus, and you tend to then feel unfulfilled, and then you look with your amygdala for immediate gratification to compensate.
Yeah.
And immediate gratification costs, but long-term vision pays. And when it comes to wealth building, if you receive $1 or $10 or $100 or $1,000 or $10,000 or $1 million, if you spend it on immediate gratification on consumables that depreciate, you live today, but you don't have it working for you. You're a slave to the money.
Yep.
Because you're now buying things that accumulate and fill your house with, and now you're a hoarder. But if you actually invested in assets that actually grow, then every time you do, you're deferring gratification. And now the investments that you put it in, that's an asset, now pay you, and you become its master. When I was 27, I didn't really understand wealth building. I was good at making some money, but I seemed to spend it on buying books. I used to buy 40 to 70 books a week. And I was just buying it on education, seminars, books. I just wanted to learn. But I never had the money working for me. I had my intellectual property working for me, but not finances. So at 27, I was asked by a financial planner that shifted my thinking. And I started buying. I started out at literally $200 a month, $50 a week, $10 a day. I started to buy quality companies. I started buying an index fund and buying quality companies. And then I just made the habit of doing it, and I increased it to 300 to 500 to 750 to 1,000. I just kept increasing until eventually, in 1 month, I put in $250,000. And I just kept investing, buying things. Well, eventually, the money that was passively generated by the investments started making me more money than I was working. And I became financially independent. But wow. I deferred the gratification. I lived simple, and I saved and invested a lot. And now, I'm pretty blessed. I can live a pretty extraordinary life. and it's only a tiny portion of whatever my passive income doing. So most people don't have the patience and the temperament, as Buffett says, to defer gratification and to allow compound interest and capital gains to work in your favor. And it's not it's not very complex. It's so simple. I can teach people how to do it very quickly. But once they do it and they get the hang of it, it changes their financial destiny. So I'm a firm believer that your immediate gratification and your impulses are going to interfere with long-term accomplishments. So be patient, be perseverant, be clear on your purpose, and think about how you can make a contribution to the world. It's the most fulfilling thing.
Since I found Dr. Demartini and I've done his values determination test, my YouTube watch time has increased by 200%.
You're worth it.
Go take the values determination test and watch all of my episodes with Dr. Demartini and Evan Carmichael in the playlist Minute with a Millionaire. It's right here. Click the screen or the description. On the next episode with Dr.
I've asked millions of people in seminars, go to the moment you've had the most fulfillment. And 99% of the time, it's when they did something that contributed to another person's life and the person said, thank you, and it's a fair exchange and it said remunerated.
Amen.
Remunerated means
Yes.
they got
Worth
paid
it.
for
And immediate
it.
gratification cost, but long-term vision pays.